That's right. It's the morning show right here on KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live. We appreciate each and every one of you to be on today's show. We've got a lot to talk about on today. Yes, it's that Friday feeling. What's your Friday feeling you'd like to share with us? We got Casey in social media saying, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Stephanie Reed joining us. Others in Periscope land tuning in as well. Well, today's show, we're going to talk about Google Trends' very own weekly searches that each and every one of you have keyed in on that keyboard over there. So we'll find out that, as well as the top YouTube video, which I missed this live, by the way, and I'm going to just give you a hint. She wants feet, but she's got fins, and she's out of the sea. Jesse, can you make a guess what I'm talking about over there?
Dumbo?
The Little Mermaid.
I'm just joking.
Okay, I was like,
I know.
I,
Talk about
I,
my life.
I know you like horror films. I didn't know if you liked Disney films. I wasn't sure. Jesse Sanchez over there in our control room over there. And we got a big show. Also, Coach Jeff Steinberg. My goodness. Talk about when he goes to college football, his kids are going to be ready to go, right? Because they won again, almost unstoppable. They've only lost one time this entire season. So we're going to be talking to Coach Jeff Steinberg about the game tonight, what to look forward to ahead of this. And I don't know, but I'm just saying, I mean, I don't want to like jinx it, but been on the morning show, kind of win almost every single one. Just saying, and you might want to keep us on their like roster, right? Also around the corner, one of my very good friends, Sonia Perez Chason, is going to be joining us with your attorney questions. If you got any, you can just send them right in as we're talking. Sometimes you have like situations that you're in and you're thinking, like I have one which I asked Sonia about, and she gave me real advice, and I was like, okay, all right, but I thought I had a case, and she was like, well, we'd have to work on that. But so there you go. It dealt with, okay, I kind of want to talk about it, but I probably shouldn't, because somebody's going to go out there and they're going to make a case for it, and then they're going to win. But I think, how like whenever you want to add cheese, you have to add 30 cents. What happens for us people that don't want cheese? We want to take it off. Do we save 30 cents? Jesse?
I hope so, because I'm lactose intolerant. So hey, if they can remove the cheese and I take off 30, 40 cents, heck yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. They don't take it off because it's already included. But you're like,
No.
but I'm saving you. But see, I think I'm just saying, consumers everywhere now are thinking about it. Okay, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by our radio audience just around the corner, KMET 1490 AM. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right, we're on our commercial break over there on television, on radio. They're sharing top news of the hour over there at ABC News Radio. So you get to see our behind the scenes talk over here as we get ready to go back on air live. Let's see. In Periscope, we've got B. Jack Rose tuning in. Thank you, B. Jack Rose. On Facebook, we see you guys over there. Some of you are silent over there, I noticed, by the way. It's kind of cool. Because sometimes I hear people, they're like, oh yeah, but I never comment. But I get it, because I'm that way. I'm that like that stalkerish person, which like you kind of see me, but you don't on social media. You ever do that, Jesse? Like you tune in, but you're like, I don't want to comment. Like, I'm that person sometimes, especially for radio listeners. Radio listeners are
Just want to
notorious.
watch.
Yeah, you're like, call in now. They're like, I'm driving. I'll get a ticket if I call in now. Or I'm working. Even worse. Like they're working. Well, that's good, actually. That's good for them, bad for us. Although, LinkedIn, you guys in LinkedIn, you guys like keep it on the entire time. I see your numbers and looks like you're at work listening. So however you're figuring that out, we want to know. We need special Bluetooth devices that say the morning show live on air. Right. All right. So there you go. Let's see. Yes, the everybody's getting populated over there. I can't wait to introduce you guys. This will be the introduction of Sonia Perez Chason. Her and I go back quite a few years, actually. Back at when I was doing it out of another studio. It was a tiny studio,
20
actually.
seconds.
And met her, and we've been connected ever since. She helped me with one of my cases. So actually referred me to a
10
really
seconds.
good expert. If she doesn't know, she knows people that know people that know people that know people
2 seconds.
that know other people. That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our live TV audience over there at KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live. Yes, one of the very few shows that you'll see on all multimedia platforms. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
All right, and somebody in the wind over there, I think we could hear them, by the way. They are on a little island over there called Costa Rica, and we got Miss Sonia Perez Chason. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Sonia.
Good morning. Costa Rica is not an island; it's a peninsula. But yeah, I'm here.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean, you could have said I wanted to say, like, look at your beautiful island there, which you could have said. Now, for those wondering, again, Sonia, you have been an attorney for quite some time. You have seen all sorts of cases. You're a trial attorney. You're civic litigation. I believe that's, or is it civic? You tell me what it is, the specialties that you've been able to add your expertise to.
I'm a trial lawyer, so it means that I face juries a lot in my practice. So I mostly do civil litigation and some criminal defense. So the difference, as we all know, in civil, I'm fighting against big corporations, usually insurance defendants, and my side is the plaintiffs, the little guy. So it's David versus Goliath. And it's that too in the criminal case, because I have to go against the government. So it's another David versus Goliath.
Well, and speaking of which, I remember when we met and you were going against another Goliath, but I've always wondered, maybe you can help me. I've seen this in movies quite often where they select the jury and they're looking at certain ones, they have to ask certain questions. Is there a science that goes into that?
There's not a science, but we, as attorneys do have to learn how to communicate better with jurors, because I think we're not taught this in law school, but you have to be very, just speak English and not try to, use your legalese. Yes, we spend lots of money getting a law degree and learning Latin, but it alienates people when you don't speak English to them. I actually teach lawyers that you speak authentically in the courtroom, tell the truth in the courtroom. It's the most powerful thing.
And that's it's funny because that's so contrary to what we hear about attorneys. But Sonia, you've always kind of broke the mold, whatever mold you were put in. You're always like, I'm not that person that you think I am. Obviously, as a trial attorney, you get faced with a lot of things. I got to ask, just out of curiosity, in your entire career, was there kind of either a very weird case or an extraordinary case that you saw through and you got, you met it to the end with either success or maybe, I don't know. I don't know that you lose many,
well,
but
I don't know about a particular case, but I've had a very strange experience in the courtroom, and I've had lots of those, but one that stands out, I was asked to be an interpreter in my very own case when I was a new attorney, and I thought, that's weird. The judge said it was okay, and the other side approved. I thought it was great in a way, to turn a situation. Obviously, there is some racial bias, Latina, is she a real lawyer? Is she an interpreter? Who is this woman? But I took the opportunity, and when my my client was speaking long paragraphs, the answer was always like, no. So it was like my client would speak in the courtroom, blah, 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 blah. And the interpretation to the question was no or yes. And so that was kind of fun. I was able to, clean up some of the testimony.
So, well, I can imagine that. Like, you're like, look, I'll help you out. No, it reminds me of those movies. But okay,
Yeah.
Sonia, your life is quite interesting because, I mean, you and I have had a chance to talk off camera, and the things that you face are either they're moments that I think we all either just see in the news or we hear about because you've got some major criminal cases you've taken on as well, right?
I have. I've had some challenges, and one of the questions I get asked from when I speak to high school students, and I think adults have this question in the back of their head, is how do you represent guilty people? And I always say, I don't. Um, and especially as a Latina lawyer or and a female, I mean, who's very conscious, we know there are so many innocent people in jail. Right now, we believe there's an innocent man that's about to be sentenced to death.
I just saw that.
So no, I don't represent guilty people. Who I represent are the innocent, because our system of justice is based on the presumption of innocence. We're all presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. So the government has to prove their case, and I have to make sure that they have the evidence before my client sees a day in jail. And that's the challenge, and the challenge is huge. They have
Well,
all the money and the resources.
right, right, I mean, if God forbid that ever were to happen, and I saw, like I always go to movies because that's my only point of reference. But all of a sudden, there was a knife in my hand, and there was a dead body right there, and I just happened to pick it up, and now I'm seen as a guilty person. I'm like, oh no, I just found it here, just walking along the road. Now I would want
Yes.
you at my defense. I'm just saying.
Yes, yes, because that's exactly right. They test the blood. Who else was there? Who was the likely? Because a lot of this, I'm sorry, is lazy policing. Sometimes they'll find somebody, like you said, that's holding the knife. It was them, and then all the reports will call that person. Will the suspect, and so all of a sudden they're always the suspect, and the other person is the victim, and it's a shame because the person, you really want justice at the end of the day. You want the person who committed the crime to be held accountable, not the person who's the most convenient. And that's my response to how do you represent the guilty? I don't.
Well, and
So
I know you're so passionate. I remember when we met. I remember we were talking about the being a consumer, right? And sometimes these big, I guess I would call them behemoths of corporations that the little guy on the other side is like, I don't know what to do. They've got a whole. Yeah, I just imagine like a whole list, kind of like O.J. Simpson's team, like five different attorneys all covering one little section, and it's you and maybe I don't know how many you take into the courtroom with you, but can you give us an illustration of perhaps one? You don't have to put out a name out there, but what the situation was and how you overcame it as a trial attorney.
well, one of my first cases, I co-counsel a lot, which means a lot of attorneys will call me or bring me in a case. I also do the same thing. I'll bring in another attorney because I just think, A, it's more fun, and we are going up against a lot of resources and the insurance companies. So my very first medical malpractice case in California, it turned out to be a record verdict, but it was a lot of attorneys wouldn't take the case, and it
Wow.
was
Why was that?
well, because we have tort caps in California. That means that it doesn't matter how bad a doctor is, how badly they screwed up. Let's say a doctor comes in drunk out of his mind, comes in and operates the wrong leg, so you lose the leg that you were scheduled to have operated
That's
is
one of
not
my
operated.
fears, Sonia. Don't talk about it.
And
But
they
yes,
operate the wrong. Yeah, so now
right,
you have no legs.
right.
And the doctor was drunk and was so careless, and they didn't take the proper precautions. They didn't, they're supposed to mark the leg they're going to operate. Nobody bothered to do that. Anyway, what that means is in California, and you die. Let's say you die from it. Then
Let's
the
not
most
say
that your
that,
family
Sonia.
can collect is
Okay.
$250,000. That's it. Doesn't matter if the verdict comes in at $1 million or $2 million, like everybody thinks at these large verdicts. You're only the most that you can recover is $250,000. And the sad
Wow.
part is that it costs anywhere. I mean, the cheapest malpractice cases are anywhere from 50 to 100,000 to prosecute these cases. So what does the insurance company do? They don't take responsibility right away, even if they see it's an obvious case. In fact, with the most obvious malpractice cases, they fight them. And so you have to go to debt. Nobody believes this, but you have to fight and fight and fight, and that costs money. Then you have to they hire experts that will lie and say, well, he would have lost that other leg anyway,
Right. It's
or
eventual.
whatever. I mean, they exaggerate.
Right.
Yeah. And so there's really no damages here. Or if there's any damages, it's probably, just whatever, $10,000 or something. I always say, tell people, how much would you take for somebody to remove your leg or to lose a healthy leg? How much would you take? I don't think anybody would take any money
I wouldn't.
for that.
No,
So,
give me back my leg. No.
and,
But so
and
Sonia,
we can't hold these doctors criminally accountable. So that's all we have is money. Yeah.
well,
Anyway.
and Sonia, I don't want people to
Yeah.
think that, even though you're in Costa Rica over there, that you only operate in Costa Rica.
Oh,
In
yeah.
fact, some would think you're on vacation, but I understand like you're not truly on vacation. You're actually working a case. Is that right? But you can't speak about it?
That's right. I am. And it's a lucky break, but I mean,
Hey,
like I said, I'm kind of faking it right here. Look at in my hand. I have to go through these documents right now, so it's not such a luxurious lifestyle. And most lawyers, trial lawyers especially, uh, we have to fight for our vacation time. So I'm
yeah.
not on vacation, even though it feels like it today, but it's not.
Well, at least we got a little break with you. I wanted to say thank you for again joining us. And here's the thing for those of you tuning into our weekly show. So we would love to have you back every single week. Perhaps getting questions from our audience or from other people that you could maybe answer over the air. What do you think about that?
I would love to. That would be wonderful. I'd
Fantastic.
love to be
Okay.
of service to people. Yeah.
Yay. Okay. And
Okay.
unfortunately, she's not always going to be in front of a beautiful like background like this. By the way, so enjoy it while it lasts. But or maybe it
Yeah.
will. I don't know. Maybe it'll get so big and picked up internationally. She'll be the touring attorney, huh? Hey, that works. The touring
Oh,
attorney.
I would love that.
Yeah, wouldn't we
I'll
all?
be the
Okay.
touring
So,
attorney.
all right, Sonia.
All
For
right.
those that want to
Okay.
get a hold of you, maybe they have a case that right now they don't want to get public about it. They just they want some information. How can we find you?
Well, I do have a Facebook page. It's Kick-Ass Lawyer,
Yeah,
and
I forgot to mention that.
you can you can also just you can Google. You can send me an email at Sonia Chason
All right,
at
there's her
Gmail. I will
information right.
answer. I will
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, there it is. Sonia
You have my
Chason.
information though.
Yeah, Sonia, CHAISSON at gmail.com. You could visit her website. Again, if you just go on Facebook and you're like, or maybe you're thinking, hey, wow, I really need like I think we could say, we could say that, right? Kick-ass attorney? I think so. So you just type that in, you get her. Literally, that's her handle. So I say don't change it, Sonia, but we got to talk about creating a second one so people can find you a little easier.
Okay. All
But
right.
Sonia, thank you
Okay.
so very much for spending time with us here on the morning show, and we'll see you next week as our regular contributor.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Okay. Bye. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, so we're going to let Sonia go over there and get on with her case. Yeah, no, seriously, she really is working. And I said, at first she's like, let's do it when we get back. And I said, why? When we got like a great visual right there, we want to see you and what you're doing over there. But Sonia Perez Chason, again, a great human being, really fights for the underdog. But we got to take a break here on the morning show. When we get back, we got more with Coach Jeff Steinberg right after these messages. Stay tuned. All right. For those of you tuning in, we appreciate you. Again, Sonia Perez Chason will be with us each and every week answering your questions. So maybe you come across somebody. I know our Breakfast Club members always are very much on the lookout. Maybe you know somebody, you're like, oh, and somebody comes up with something, you're like, you know what? You should bring that up to Sonia on the morning show. So she's got great advice. And if she doesn't know, she'll tell you, and then she'll refer you to the right attorney. Because she, unlike some attorneys which pretend to know it all, actually she's like, no, I know the person that does really good. We worked on a case together. They specialize maybe in family law or whatever it is. In my case, she referred me out to a really good attorney to take care of my situation, and did a great job. So. And that was my car accident that I had, which was no fun at all, which happened to be an attorney hitting me from the behind. And I was like, oh, man. So, yeah, but everything got taken care of. And, as best as could be expected, being that the person only had liability insurance and not full coverage, and I only had liability. So that made things even worse. So there's a hint over there. If you got like only liability, I say get more than that, because you never know when the accident's going to be bigger, or you need more like stuff with the doctor and stuff. Just get it taken care of. But there you go. Let's see. We appreciate you. Let's see. Mom is saying Facebook is muted, so I'm listening via the KMT app. I don't know what that means. Muted. Refresh your thing, Mom. Is anybody else saying that it's muted? Let's see. Shouldn't be muted.
Is that
unless?
How'd you meet Sonia in prison? No, I'm just playing.
No. No, actually, yeah, right. No, I met her with another basketball player. They knew each other. I think she was representing him or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, she was. And he had wait, were they on the same show?
10 seconds.
I just remember he suffered a stroke. She has like experience with that, of one suffering through strokes, and so long story but short.
2 seconds.
There you go. Oh, is Jeff ready? That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, KVVB TV 33, and all social media platform, which actually have video. It's that time for Mr. Coach Jeff Steinberg. I'm telling you, this man and his team, especially his team, are unstoppable. They're already doing some pretty big stuff. Jeff, what's it going over there? Sounds like you're having a party.
Things are going great. Yeah, we got the music going like we do every morning. So the nice thing is this morning it's my selection of music.
I believe me, I get you on that. There's some music now. I feel old all of a sudden. Coach, Beaumont beat Citrus Hill 22-19 last week to finish the regular season with a 9-1 record. The Cougars start the CIF playoffs tonight. The victory at Citrus Hill was a big one. Your special teams were a big part of it. How's that journey been for you?
It's a ride. It's a ride. Really love to see how we're developing and improving over the course of the season, and just to see the players gel and relationships strengthen, and just to watch, I guess, kids develop both on and off the field is always a blast.
Well, now we're in November. How much has your team grown since you started?
Oh gosh, uh, it's a totally different team now. Um, it's a metamorphosis that occurs, and the only way that can happen is by players being challenged and willing to go out of their comfort zone, because that's really the only way you grow. So it's really neat to see.
Well, and I don't like to talk about weaknesses, but in any team, you have things that you have to work with. Was there anything or a challenge that you or your teammates have been able to like overcome?
Yeah, I think there's always things. So one of the things that you want to do as a football team is, while you're working on your weaknesses, you really try to mask them as much as possible. And very good teams will not only will they not have a lot of weaknesses to expose, but they do a really good job of covering them up in some different ways. So without giving like too much away,
Yeah.
Coach Doyle has done a good job defensively of hiding maybe what some of our weaknesses may be, and we try to do the same on offense, and really at the same time you're trying to play on the strengths of your team as well.
See, I like that because that's really about what teams are. Even in the workplace, right? You've got people that have their strengths, their weaknesses. You're like, okay, we need to bring in someone else in over to cover for that quick little weakness over there. I mean, people don't like to think of that they have these, but it's a reality. Either whether it be just common knowledge, wisdom, or whatever. I think we have a lot to learn from Coach Jeff Steinberg's playbook, the book.
Yeah, I know it sounds cliche. You're only as strong as your weakest link, but it really it's true. It's true in athletics and it's true in life. So whatever our weakest links are, whether they're personnel or scheme or just technique, we're constantly working to improve on those.
Now, the CIF playoffs, football playoffs, start tonight. Can you explain to our listeners that may not be familiar with what the CIF playoffs, how they're set up? Can you explain
Yeah,
that?
so CIF Southern section is probably the largest section in the United States. I, I'd like to see some of the other areas. Well, I know Texas doesn't really have sections, but we have over 300 football playing schools in our section alone of California. And so you have to come in, if you come in first in league, you're an automatic qualifier for the playoffs. And then after that, they'll pick the seconds, and then whatever's left to fill out the 16 team bracket in your division that you play in. They'll fill out. So all the ones went, all the twos went, and I believe all the threes went in our division. And there were a couple at larges, and those are generally teams that could have come in fourth, or maybe in their league they weren't guaranteed a playoff entry, but because of their record and strength of schedule, they got in. It's really, you know what? Just trying to figure out just that the southern section alone can make somebody's head spin, and you
Right.
probably almost, yeah, it's almost like you need a master's degree to figure it out too. But it's the nice thing is, if you take care of business and do your thing, you're going to be in the playoffs, and that's always a good thing.
Well, Beaumont made it to the semifinals in the playoffs last year. This year, you're in the top seed in Division 11. That much I know. Now, you start with a home game tonight. Does that put a target on you?
Without a question, last year we came into the playoffs. I believe we were seeded fourth, but we came in as an at-large. And we wound up making some noise and doing great things and being, maybe a play here or there away from being in the championship game. So this year, just how the season started off, and the young men playing really well, we were able to get the number one seed, which I really think, in the big scheme of things, it doesn't really mean a thing. The only time that the number one matters is at the end of the year. There will be one team left. So it's nice, though, to have a home game. We certainly didn't have an easy draw. Linfield Christian, coached by Deshaun Burns, who's a terrific coach and a great man, does a great job. So we're going to have our hands full, and we're hoping that it's going to be a really exciting game for everybody coming out tonight.
Well, Coach, we've run out of time, unfortunately, on this segment. But before we go, I got to ask, Who are the Ramona's Trench Warriors?
We wound up taking 3 guys. We had to do some catch up for the past 3 weeks. So
Nice.
Eli Hollenbach, who plays outside linebacker, was one of the 3 that got to go, and he's not a lineman, but because of how he played at the line of scrimmage, he was afforded to take the trip there. Chase Furtado, who plays defensive line for us, went, and Logan Perez. And those guys, I am very excited to say, are big boys, and they could finish off the El Nasty. They did a great job.
All right, the El Nasty, yeah, it's a special burrito. I still got to get my hands on, take a picture of. Really quick question before we let you go. Do you have a player that you'd like to give a shout out to, or that perhaps has like the most improved of the season based on where they started and the most improved of their own skill set?
Wow, there's really so many of them, but Thomas Brown, who plays inside linebacker for us, was one of the top linebackers in the league, and he hits like a truck. He's moving fast on the field, and he is in a bad mood getting to the football. I'm really excited to watch him play on Fridays, and you know what? He's just an awesome kid, having a 4-point something GPA, which
Wow.
I had a 4.0 GPA in high school too. Mind you, you added up all 4 years, it equaled 4.0. So certainly wasn't the same as Thomas is doing.
No, I get it. Well, Coach, I want to say thank you very much for spending time with us here on the morning show. Can't wait to hear about all that's going to go on tonight because, yes, KMET is your radio home for Beaumont High School football. Join Mitch McClellan and Scott Reed for the live broadcast tonight starting at 6:45 p.m. as Beaumont hosts Linfield Christian in the first round of the CIF playoffs. Thanks for spending time with us, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
And go get them. All right, so there we go. Download the app. It's free. KMET, 1490 AM. Maybe you're going to go join the entire, like in the stands there. You're going to join the whole group. Well, you can just put it on, put your headphones on, and hear the play-by-play right there at KMET, 1490 AM. We got to take a quick break here on the morning show, but when we get back, we've got Google Trends coming up next with Kayla. Kayla's back. Yay! All right, we'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Gotta cry to keep from laughing. My eyes are playing tricks on me, 'cause I never thought I'd see you here again. Are you for real or are you acting? Claiming that I'm the best you had, and you wanna go right back to being more than friends. Sorry, I must have missed the punchline. You had the spotlight in my life, but baby, now you're out of time. Ain't it funny how it all comes back around? Comes back around. And ain't it funny how you can't tell up from down? Tell up from down. Said yourself I am not what you're looking for. Don't know what you expect, love ain't here no more. Oh no. If this is a joke, oh, ain't it funny? Ain't it funny? Suffering from amnesia.
I am not suffering from amnesia. Wait, did my chair go down? Sorry, guys. This chair, this is like the 5th chair. All right, I think I'm leaning either too forward or too back. I don't know. But there you go. All right, let's see. We've got Edwood, Tomo. Did I go like down in the middle of the? I don't know. I can never tell. All right, there we go. So there we go. Diana Carbajal, thanks for tuning in. Diana Chenevere, I love how those two, like, I'm here too. Both Dianas, all right. Let's see, got some Tazarate over there. Casey, let's see, many more tuning in. Appreciate you. Thank you for sharing it. Let's see, got Tom Bogdus over there. Good morning, Tom. Good to see you over there. Let's see, who else? We got Deborah Clark. Going through the list here of both hidden and visible. We've also got on Periscope, we've got Tomo 420, Ed Wood, Monster Brighton, White Lightning. What you like the Ed Wood one?
No, the Tomo 421.
What? Why is that? Why did I miss the joke there, Jesse? I feel kind of left out.
Most likely he's a stoner who likes Naruto, but I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. Total for. Oh, right. That I forget. I forget the whole like number system over there. All right.
We have 10 seconds.
I remember when I thought 420 was just an area code. I did. I was like,
Same here.
What area code is that? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you have to be
5
420
seconds.
friendly. I'm like, what? The area code? I'm 213 is not good enough for you. That's right. It's the morning show right here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Also joining our live TV audience over there at KVVB TV, Channel 33, Facebook Live, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live. Speaking of YouTube Live, we've got lots going on over there. We got Kayla Conti breaking it down for us over at Google. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Kayla.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
I know. Happy Friday. It's good to have you back. I understand you're on vacation. Can you share with us where you went, or is it like ultra secret, ultra private, and you could tell me to just, go the other way?
No, not vacation. I was traveling for work, but I was all throughout the Midwest and popped over to Atlanta for a little bit as well.
Our guest said that earlier too. I'm starting to see a pattern here. People are like, "Oh no, I'm going for business." Wink, 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 and then they get to have fun at the same time. I'm not buying it, Kayla. I'm not. But no, I believe you. I do. Let's talk about this top YouTube video of the week. I missed this. I was so upset. I thought I had more time. I wanted to see this done live because what's great about live, you never know when something's going to happen, kind of like our morning show. My seat goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Talk to us. What was the one that made it for the week?
Yes, Ali Craviello took the stage earlier this week to perform a live version of The Little Mermaid. The hit song Part of Your World is, of course, a fan favorite and has already amassed over 1 million views in one day on YouTube. I, too, missed the live show. I was pretty sad because Little Mermaid is one of my favorites, but hopefully there'll be a chance to rewatch the live show, if that even makes sense.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like a rebroadcast of the live show because, again, anything can happen. I do appreciate that. I love it when they do that. Some people are like, oh, it's not as good as a recorded show. Yeah, because it got edited, but it's hard. I mean, that's the great thing about live theater that I appreciate, and I appreciate Disney for doing this and her as well, and the fact that we can watch the rebroadcast of the live version of it. So, I mean, that's how we run our show, right? People sometimes think it's live and it's not. It's tricky. All right, let's talk about the 5 top search trends of the week.
Yes, starting out, Tuesday was Election Day 2019, and voters all over the country headed to the polls to decide on local and state elections. Some notable results were that Kentucky elected a black attorney general for the first time in history, and Scranton, Pennsylvania elected its first ever female mayor. So plenty of search interest in election results 2019 that spiked over 3,750% over the past week in the U.S. And folks just wanting to figure out what's happening across the country.
Well, I'm seeing one of the questions tied into this. I guess a lot of people asked about this, which I didn't know the answer to. Is Election Day a holiday? What say you, Ayla?
I don't know if it's considered a holiday in the U.S. I know a lot of jobs give their employees a couple of hours of, paid time off to go in and exercise their right to vote, but I'm not sure it's considered an official holiday.
See, I
in the
appreciate
US.
I appreciate this. Most people act like Google and they pretend to know the answer. You answered truthfully. It's actually thanks to Google, by the way. I see it's weird asking Kayla, who works at Google, about Google. It's a public holiday in some states, including Delaware, Hawaii, Kentucky, Louisiana, Montana, New Jersey, New York, West Virginia, and the territory of Puerto Rico. A federal holiday, Democracy Day, to coincide with Election Day has been proposed. But so there's the short answer of the long question. Okay, or the long answer of the. Okay, what's the next trending item there over there, Kayla?
Yeah, Halloween is technically over, but Monday night's NFL game between the Cowboys and the Giants felt a little bit spooky
Yeah.
as a black cat somehow got on the field and stopped the entire game. The cat was finally ushered off of the field, but not before it ran across the field goal line and scored a touchdown.
That is a beautiful cat. Wait, did they find the owners, or was it one of these like feral cats that just made it onto the field from like outside?
You know, that is one of the top trending questions. One of the top trending questions is what happened to the black cat at the Giants game. They were able to finally capture it, but it's left to be told what happened. What happened next? Hopefully, if it did belong to a family or someone that he or she was rightfully returned. But there is a discussion happening about whether or not the appearance of this black cat was a bit of an omen for the Giants. Before the cat was appeared on the field, the Giants were up 9-3, but after the cat showed up, they were outscored 34-9.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Look, I think you should just bring a black cat to every game and see what happens. We have a black cat, so he looks like our cat named Batman. That's because, it's appropriate for a black cat. Be like, when they spook up on you in the dark, I'm Batman, the cat, so I'm not a man. I'm a bad cat. So there you go. Yeah. We like Bat Cat. Or what? It's Batman, but whatever. We'll change it. Okay, next on the list.
Next up, it's the holiday season is officially upon us, and it's marked by the arrival of Starbucks holiday cups and drinks. 4 different designs will be available this year, featuring red, white, and green patterns that look like holiday wrapping paper. And if you reuse your holiday edition cup and visit another Starbucks location, you will get up to 50 cents off your holiday beverage purchase through January 6th. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of these red, white, and green cups floating around for the next couple of months.
I was afraid you were going to say floating around in the ocean, but because everybody's like stuff about, right? Just saying. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, but these are useful. They shouldn't end up in.
Yeah, no. But truth be told, I guarantee Brenda, my lady, is going to go over there and get her some. I guarantee it. She's like, ooh, so festive. All right, next on the list. This one was interesting. This one I thought it has like implications, which I can't wait to see. It's a little eerie to think you could bring back the dead, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, after more than 60 years after his passing, James Dean will appear in an upcoming Vietnam era movie called Finding Jack using CGI. Actors perhaps hoping to play the role or just concerned about the future of their craft were not too pleased with this announcement. Plenty of actors and actresses took to social media to discuss the topic. A few notables include Chris Evans, who's known for playing Captain America, and tweeted, "This is awful. Maybe we can get a computer to paint us a new Picasso." And Elijah Woods, who's known for playing Frodo, also chimed in on Twitter saying, "Nope, this shouldn't be a thing." But the director seems to be a little bit confused about all the uproar. He says, "I'm a little dumbfounded with this level of resentment. We love actors, but if it's appropriate and we can do it respectfully, why is it a big deal?" So plenty of debate happening. I think some fans of James Dean maybe being excited to see him in a movie. Others worrying, again, like you said, what this could mean for potential implications in the future.
Well, I've said this a long time back when I saw this technology which made it look, you could add your own avatar, for example. You could scan your body, and they have like down to the pore. I mean, it looks hyper realistic, almost to the point where if you could make it like do the stuff that you would do, it's almost very difficult. And that company was a new company. And I remember we had a discussion behind the scenes, and I said, well, what does this do with people as like IP? In other words, like you're your own intellectual property, but who is to say they own your likeness, your character, now you, and who's going to get paid from this? Is the family going to get paid for it? Or I would imagine that's why the family said yes to this. But I mean, if you have no soul people, like where does the money go? And can they do this forever and a day? I would argue that you could, when especially when it gets, I give it another 5 to 10 years before it's super hyper real. But I think this is concerning to a lot of actors that are like, I can be replaced.
Yeah, it's definitely a big conversation for sure. I think it was Robin Williams' daughter chimed in, Zelda Williams, and actually noted that according to legal docs, Robin Williams restricted the use of his image in publicity for 25 years after his death. So it seems like some actors already took those precautions even before this technology maybe became more popularized. So definitely a conversation folks are having, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I say, I mean, everybody's going to need that, or they're going to just say, okay, if like a license, right? Somebody's going to come out with a licensing of your own image or own self, especially for film, TV, because let's face it, everybody is okay if somebody like dies midway, and then of course they have to, like, in order to add the character, Star Wars, for example, right? They had to digitize Carrie. Carrie, and and then Paul Walker, right? So some of the most famous ones, they're okay about finishing that because they committed to it. But now the whole question comes into, well, what if we want to put them in more movies, right? So I don't know how I feel about this, but it's a weird frontier that we're in. Kayla, I'm going to save you from the last one we already talked about this week. Pringles, yes, they've got the turkey mashup with all that. But Kayla, want to say a big thank you for spending time with us here on the morning show. We'll see you next week, unless you go on vacation again. Wink, 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 wink.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. All right, we got to take another break here on the morning show. What do you guys think about that? Top trending items. Now, if you got digitized like this, would you be concerned that, like, when you pass, like, it started to be used in other which ways? I would. I'd be kind of like, I would have prerequisites. I'm just saying. I'd be like, all right, as long as, like, people that I deem to benefit from this forever and a day. But what if, like, 50 years down the line, I guess you're irrelevant at that point, right? Are you? Unless you're Abraham Lincoln. How many people CGI Abraham Lincoln? Don't ask anybody for permission. Yeah, you see what I mean? I don't know. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got more stories coming up right after these messages. I'm just saying, I want to see what you guys say about that. All right. Yeah, I'm telling you, Under the Sea is here. If that music doesn't wake you up, if you were like, I know, you're waiting for your Starbucks coffee and that nice little beautiful, that beautiful, sorry, I have Brenda in my ear. So, Brenda, did you have something you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I need to watch Under the Sea with the new red Starbucks cup. And I'm
knew it.
hoping that they bring back the holiday gift card, the red cup. So for those Starbucks fanatics, they know what that is.
I have no idea what that is, by the way. What's for those that don't know? What does that do, Brenda? She's got like the tip of the day here.
So it's an ornament that is a gift card, and it looks like the red cup that they just brought back. It's pretty awesome, and you can hook it onto your keys. So instead of having it in your wallet or your digital app, which your battery dies always when you get to like the front of the line, and you're like,
because you're waiting in line.
Yeah, texting and Instagramming and Facebooking and all those social media outlets. Yes.
Which, by the way, if you're waiting in line and it's like a long line, like Disneyland, for example, they have a long line. You can actually order on the app and get it. And then they call your name, and people are like, "How did you do that?" It's a tip. There you go. So, see, it pays to listen to the morning show. We got all kinds of tips like that just floating around. All right, so there you go. Brenda Higuera, go follow her. 35 Lifestyle on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
30 seconds.
Thank you, Brenda, for that little tip of the day. Casey says the James Dean casting is just creepy and wrong. He was a great actor, but this is just a terrible idea. I say this is their way of getting the technology out to the masses. It's great PR when you think about it. Go with somebody like, now everybody's
10
talking about
seconds.
it. Whether you like it or hate it, you know that this exists because you're gonna want to see what this looks like. The CGI, right? Guaranteed. Yeah, promise. Is it gonna look good? It's gonna look great. Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show right here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, KVVB TV, channel 33, Facebook Live, and Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube Live. Can't forget those guys. Also, yes, we were talking about the James Dean CGI. Good idea, bad idea. I don't care how you slice it or dice it. It's great PR for the technology that has been able to do this. So, yes, whether you may disagree or whether you may possibly be the person to agree. I remember when they did, and they brought back, I think, Michael Jackson kind of to life in concert, and everybody was like up in arms about how amazing it was, actually. They were not really upset that they brought him back. They're like, ooh, the iconic star. But, again, it's a new thing that I could see a lot of attorneys, wink, 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 go message. I don't know why I'm doing the wink, but the business thing, right? The business/travel idea. Sonia Perez Chason, we want to say a big thank you to her. If you missed any part of this show, all you have to do is go on to Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live, or our SoundCloud edition. Just type in KMET1490am.com. You can also check us out on KVVB, TV33. Those are major radio and TV affiliates, so we appreciate them as well. All right. Skipping gears up. First of all, I got to ask you, Jesse, is that a good idea or a bad idea on the James Dean CGI? What is your opinion?
I think it's a bad idea.
And why?
Mainly because you don't own your image. So, like, let's say someone famous dies, just like Robin Williams. It's kind of creepy.
Okay. Now, what if you
Then there's
owned your image and if they used your image, you were able to to pass on that kind of like life insurance, right? Like I'm saying, like you had life insurance, it expires after a certain amount once it's depleted. But let's just say you want your kids or your great grandkids or you want like your estate or wherever you've been ultra famous. Do you think if you were to benefit from it financially, you would actually sign off on it ahead of time?
Yeah, I'd sign off for it.
Okay. See,
Like, yeah.
so when money's involved, I mean, and I think that's why the family
It's a
said
bad
go
thing.
ahead. I guarantee they made an offer to them they couldn't refuse, right? They're like, well, James Dean, I mean,
Yeah.
he's helping us out from beyond, but maybe so I don't know. I'd be like, I guess he's somebody going, let's inquire of the dead and see what he says. Good idea, bad idea. Okay, moving on though. T-Mobile. Yeah, have you heard this? Big news. T-Mobile will launch their nationwide 5G network when, you ask? I've been waiting for this ever since the beginning when they mentioned 5G because I'm a live streamer. So when it's about like speed and internet connectivity, I get excited. Well, according to this, after a trial period in cities including New York City, T-Mobile announced Thursday that its nationwide, that would be yesterday, 5G network will launch on December 6th. Yes! It'll blanket more than 5,000 cities with faster mobile internet for owners of either the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G or OnePlus 7T Pro 5G phones at launch. Specific details beyond that, like plan pricing, were scarce during Thursday's announcement, but the point remains. Significant portions of the United States should get T-Mobile 5G soon. Without getting too deep into technical stuff, the network will use a 600 megahertz band spectrum rather than the millimeter wave 5G deployed in the trial period. In other words, it might not reach the top speeds of the previous T-Mobile 5G network, but it'll cover more space and ideally have broader range, and be better at penetrating buildings. What say you, Jesse?
Hey, if it gives me a better connection, do it.
Yeah,
But I
right.
wonder
I
if
know.
it's gonna cost more for like a data plan and whatnot.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I
Ah,
here's what I could say. For those of you that are 4G unlimited, enjoy it. And probably you'll never want to
yep.
change your thing, because here's the thing what I found, and I could be wrong on this, but the last time when we went from 3G to 4G, it took quite some time for 4G to be really good and in a lot of areas because they were still kind of growing it. Now I can see Verizon going, they're launching it before us. They're going to be like, well, we've been working longer at this, right? And then they're going to launch it really quick and fast and furious. And then there's going to be, of course, the other guys on AT&T. You know who you are, everybody else. And I think some are going to like double back on others, because here's the thing. If you thought you had 5G up to this point, you haven't. It's like, and I hear technical people talk about this all the time. You don't have real 5G. It's kind of used. I don't know the technical and how you connect it, but I just know your 5G isn't quite 5G. For example, I have it on my iPhone and it shows 5G. I don't know if I have a newer iPhone or what, or if I got just one out of the mix. But once we put it on a 5G network, which they actually premiered this over at CES, and they actually did have a real 5G with real speeds of 5G. At that moment, I was super excited about what 5G could be. But my thing has never gone back to 4G. It's really weird. It just stays in 5G mode. But again, is it 5G? Is it not? I don't know. But the reality is, with them launching this, I want to see how much it's going to be before I get all excited. I'm not going to lie. Because that means if you are streaming faster, you're going to download much more. And as a live streamer, upload as well. That's going to take a lot of bandwidth. So I don't know. I mean, I would be happy if they actually do have an unlimited plan. And if they do, I'll be among the first to sign up. I don't care if it's T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, you will have me at unlimited 5G. But this has got to be the real 5G unlimited, okay? Because AT&T, I think they just got, I saw a report on that. Finally, the verdict came out about them claiming it was unlimited, but not quite unlimited, because then they throttled it down and all of those which ways. So who knows? But here's what I know. T-Mobile 5G coming up around the corner, December 6th, 2019. So, or maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll wait to see what Verizon and AT&T are going to do, right? Because whoever's first at it is like going to be get the big news, and then it's going to be about, okay, who's like competition rates, right? What are the numbers going to be at? I want to not pay a lot for like blazing fast speeds, but we shall see. So there you go, T-Mobile. That's the biggest news. We got to let the majority of you go over there at Radioland. We appreciate you. Thank you for spending your time with us each and every morning right here, weekdays. And we will stay tuned again tomorrow for the Hollywood Social Lounge. Yeah, check it out. Same station right here, except 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be talking to people at the American Film Market. Yes, president and founder, CEO over there. I'm not sure if he's a founder, but he's been with them forever. Jonathan Wolf is going to be with us. And Stage 32. Yeah, they're going to join us as well. Lots of information. If you're in the entertainment or you want to be in entertainment, this is the place to talk about. We'll talk about that tomorrow right here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. Stay tuned for more right here on the station. Jesse, take it away. Now, for those of you still here with us, there's a story here that I thought was kind of interesting. Do you Uber or Lyft? Okay, now here's a quick question. When you are a passenger, do you enjoy when your driver talks a lot, or like do you have a conversation with them? Or like would you prefer that they just not talk at all? Good idea, bad idea? Okay, so there's a story here that says here, let's see. GridWise's passenger and driver report came out this week after surveying 200 drivers and 1,500 riders in collaboration with the Migo on-demand ride aggregator app. GridWise found 90% of passengers said they would never tell a driver to stop talking even if they're annoyed. Huh, okay. More than half of surveyed riders said they'd rather their driver stayed silent during the ride. More than 40% said their driver has annoyed them in some way, so it's not just constrained to talking too much. The survey covered a lot of annoyances drivers and passengers deal with when ride-sharing in Lyft and Uber trips around the U.S. Yes, the irritation, though, goes both ways. So for all of you thinking, oh, my driver, right? Just think about it, how your driver feels. Yeah, nobody knows about this. You get rated too by the driver. Many of you don't know this. A strong 83% of drivers said they've been annoyed by passengers too. So it goes both ways. Be nice, be nice. You know, look, they wouldn't talk to you if you didn't have to rate them on friendliness. Yeah, they get rated on friendliness. So they talk to you to be friendly so that you don't rate them lower, because then the lower score they go, the less they get. But bye, everyone. We got to let you go. Make it a great day. Whatever you do, Uber or Lyft, have fun out there.